Well, this is a first for me. Just had to stop and limp my way home on a tyre that's developed a bulge on the inside, about as big as a marble. I had to stop as soon as I felt it, and there's a little nick in the side of the tyre which has developed into a bulge about the size of a glass marble. So I thought, best to go home and change the tyre. So yeah, just limped her home on a bulged tyre. Took some pressure out of it just to make sure I could get home on it, because it was almost touching the mudguard strut. So I thought if it touched that, it would make it worse. So yeah, let the air out and I'm limping back home on it. I'll do a close-up later. Yeah, there it is there. Looks like there's a bit of a tear between the tread and the sidewall, which made it blow out. Yeah, it was due a new tyre anyway. Nice set of tyres on the front. I was lucky really. They stopped making these tyres a while back, and I managed to buy quite a few on the cheap. Like I say, you can't buy them anymore, they don't make them. However, I actually run the velo machine on these and liked them really a lot. So after I sold the velo, I put them on the trike and they run really well. And that's the sort of first problem I've ever had with them, with that bulge, but that's a cut, so couldn't be helped. Wow, that was worse than I thought. It's actually a hole. Stick your finger in it, but that's one of the yeah, the tube didn't burst, but that was what the lump was. It was the actual tube coming through the side of the tyre. So I was lucky there, I think. So yeah, stick a new tyre on, but that's quite a nasty tear. It's just over an inch long. Yeah, lucky. Here's a little tip for you. Learned this off a Barry bike. Putting talcum powder. He puts his on his tubes, on his inner tubes, and I put it on the inside of new tyres. Just a little dusting of it. It helps the inner tube move about inside the tyre, settling itself better. Yeah, I just noticed the new tyres I'm putting on are thinner than the ones I'm taking off, and then I just remembered I bought them I'm taking off for the velo, but they were too wide, so when I was steering they were hitting the inside of the actual velo, so I took them off and put them on here. So it'd be interesting to see how the thinner ones react. Also, another thing about putting talcum powder in the tyres, or dusting them, it stops the inner tube from sticking to the tyre. Like I say, so you get a little bit more movement of the inner tube within the tyre. Another little tip for newbies: never ever put a tyre on with tyre levers. You can do it with your thumbs, and that means you don't break the beading. If you try and put them on with tyre levers, you can snake bite your tube, and you can also break this beading here which keeps the tyre on. So what you do is, as you put it on, you keep pinching it to the centre. You can see my fingers, so you keep drawing the tyre to the centre, and that makes it easier to put on. And you just push them on with your thumb. You can see how it goes. I'm doing it one-handed, look. So never ever put them on with tools. It's pointless. You just ruin them. And don't put liquid on them either. What's the point? You can do it with your thumbs. So anyway, I'm going to have to put my fingers there and my camera down to do it. So you just keep pinching, and as you see, look, see, and in the end it just clips in. There you go, no problem. So don't use a tool. Another little tip, when I put the tubes back in, I put a tiny piece of air in them so that they sit better when you put the tyre back on. And then when you've got the tyre back on, just pump a little bit of air in there to begin with and just massage the tyre like that to make sure the beading's okay. And don't put the little ring on the actual valve until you've actually pumped the tyre up completely. Then you know where the actual seating for that little ring is. If you put it on and do it up too tight beforehand, you can actually rip the tube. Like I said, the first bit of air you put in, just a little bit, so you can just go around with your fingers and your thumbs just to make sure that the tyre's nicely bedded in, the beadings into the tyre, and the inner tube is not caught between the tyre beading and the wheel itself. That's why I always put a little bit of air in, tiny bit of air in, so it actually keeps the tube inside the tyre. So basically that's it, and then pump it up to its size or pressure you like. I personally don't run the maximum, I run them about maybe 5 pounds under max. I find that doesn't pick up so many punches then. Anyway, hope that helps.